Oh, look, I'd rather be in the fight at the end, so I'll take that. Obviously, the ultimate reward is the 2 points, and we haven't been, always getting those. I think I don't think it's a measure of how much effort we're putting in to win. So provided we stick at it and we get better at a couple of areas, I thought last week our completions in the first half were very low. I think there's been halves in games that have hurt us, and look, if we can get that right, then the 2 points will come.
Is it possible to have momentum, good momentum, even if you're not winning?
Yeah, there's momentum in parts of your game. I feel like we've got that. We've got certainly some momentum with the way we're defending at the moment, and the system seems to be working for us. But yeah, just like like I said, there's other parts of our game that aren't gathering enough momentum at the moment. I'd like to see the day that our execution and our effort marry up in the same day, and then that's when we'll get the 2 points.
Is the team's confidence growing as each good performance follows another?
I don't think it's decreasing. I think we understand that we're a very capable footy team that's not quite getting the job done at the moment, but we're confident that our style of footy will hold up, and it will only get better. Caelan's only just returned to us, so connections with Jackson, and the more games he gets to play with him, and the more games they get to play with Kurt and Phoenix at 9, our footy's only going to get better.
Still a plan to go with Caelan on the bench at the moment?
I don't know. I might make the decision about an hour before kick-off.
Is he ready to start, do you think? Like, as in physically, mentally, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, he's much further. Obviously, the week, he's trained there all week. He's trained really well, and he's better for the run. But I wasn't completely unhappy with what we were doing last week either with Tyson Gamble. He's been great for us as well. So I've got another night to think about it.
In terms of consistency, I guess, in your time here, it hasn't always been easy to get the same team on the park. It must be nice to sort of look at the same squad and go, okay, I can actually have the same team on the park effectively.
Yeah, I could count on one hand how many times that's happened. Actually, when Parry asked me for the team the other day, I said just name the same squad. I can't ever remember doing that. So.
All right, the Eels, how do you figure they're travelling at the moment?
Yeah, they're a good team. They've been together a long time. They know what works for them. I think their spine's very dangerous when their spine get together, and we felt that in the trial game this year against them, that they'll play footy on play 1 and they'll play footy against you on play 5. So we need to be prepared for those, in between moments where they can really hurt you. And they've got a forward pack that make a lot of metres, so we need to make sure that we're on top of our defensive game.
I think last week you talked about handling errors and things like that killed you a little bit. Do you feel like that was something that someone like Lachlan Miller, for example, will get out of his game? As in it felt like they were almost uncharacteristic at times and have that many in the same game. Yeah,
I think the disappointing thing with the errors that we had, they're not errors playing footy. I think the example that I'd use, the drop ball from Gags to Lockie when they had a ray. You wear those ones because if they're gonna score a try and you stand and applaud that, well, you can't, kick them up the backside when it doesn't come off. But it's the fundamental ones, the play of the ball, the simple drops on catches uncontested. They're the ones that we need to eradicate, and they're just concentration things. You got to think about the way Lockie plays. He's 100 mile an hour, so usually he's one play ahead before he's got the ball, and he'll get that. He's 15 games in.
Adam, you set up the game last week. You weren't sure if Caelan would have 80 minutes in him. Are you sure this week that he could get through 80 if he needs?
I'm more confident than I was last week. I just thought he needed the run. I know he's not a racehorse, but he'd be better second up. I felt like watching his game last week when he came on, he was quite busy. He didn't get his hands on the ball in the first period when he went on, but certainly in the second part, he had multiple touches. I thought he defended well, so I feel like he'd be better for the run.
And obviously, you guys are travelling on the ball right now, and basically mainly without Cable for the whole season. How much more better can you get with these in the team back to his best? Yeah,
look, he's a quality player. We could obviously get better. The more time that they spend together, and I know everyone's sick of hearing it, but your spine players, you look at Penrith with, Luai and Cleary, the more time you spend with them, the better you're going to get. He's a quality player, and, he's nowhere near his ceiling as a 5'8". He's only, he'd only be one game in.
And you've had 3 games this year. One was a draw, one you lost by 1 point. Last week, 2 points. In all those games, your goal kicking could potentially have made the difference. Have you settled on a goal kicker, and are you sort of concerned about the goal kicking?
Certainly concerned. There's no doubt that, you know, you look at the Penrith game, it could have easily been 18-0. It's a big difference between 12-0. So, but they are working extremely hard. They're putting hours and hours and hours a week into the goal kicking. And the frustrating thing for both Jackson and Lockie is that they're kicking them well at training and they're taking that into the game. There's been some other factors, you know, in terms of wind, and they haven't always been easy. But there's no doubt, like, to answer your question, we'd like to be going up in sixes. The guys are working really hard at it.
Who's going to start with the goal kick? Have you decided who will kick off?
Yeah, the Lockie Miller will start with her. He's the one that's probably done the most practice here this week. We've lightened Jackson's load. So I think, Lockie will start the goal kicking on the weekend.
And obviously you and Brad Arthur are great mates. I think you've now coached against him 4 times. He's won all those games. Would you like to get one back on him?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for reminding me. We're great mates. He gave me his first starting coaching. So, he's got the wood over us. But whether or not, how much impact we have during the 80 minutes, I'm not too sure. But, to answer your question, I'd love to get one back on him.
Do you have any sort of banter with him or interaction leading into a game, or just...
No, we don't communicate. Obviously, this week's been a little bit different. We've communicated due to some other personal stuff, but generally game week, and I'm the same with Craig. We don't communicate the week we play each other, but it's back to normal next week.
Obviously, pretty important. 7 points given the bye next weekend, so you can maintain a good spot.
Yeah. 4-point game, this one for us. We've already spoken about that. It'd be nice to go into the bye. It's been a long 8 weeks for us. We've competed really hard, and the bye will be welcome, but we're not there yet. We need to get this game. We need to go down and perform really well on the weekend and give ourselves a chance to have a nice holiday next week and add 4 points to the table.
And broadly, I guess, coming at a good time with some players still off with injury,
Yeah, the bonus, a couple of weeks will no doubt do him wonders. And we've got some guys there to carry in some niggles, 8 weeks into a pretty tough season so far. So it'll give us a chance to rest a few up and get some medical, stuff done with them and hit the ground running when we come back.
Like, big positive with the 2 junior sides in the grand finals this weekend. First time in 25 years.
Excuse me.
It's, 2 junior sides from the same club.
Yep.
Being GX.
Outstanding. Really proud of everyone involved, the players, the young guys that are playing, but the coaches, all the volunteers that have worked so hard in that system. You look at Dobbo and what he's done in the pathways. It's a real credit to him. We've worked, we get a lot of feedback on how we run and how we recruit and how we retain our juniors, and you can't keep them all, but there's a really good sign that we're doing a lot of good things down there, and they probably don't get the pats on the back they deserve. So really proud of the club in that respect. It'll be a great day Saturday.
Is that something that you see that the bigger clubs, the sides that have been up there, top 4s, grand finals in the last decade, have had success in that age group?
I'm not too sure in terms of if you look at someone like Melbourne, whether they've had success that low down. They've certainly their reserve grade teams have always been fairly strong, but it's not so much about what those other teams, or as you put it, the bigger teams or whatever. I'm just worried about what we do, and we've got a really good nursery here, and we want to make sure that we're successful. And anyone that wears a Knights jersey, no matter what age, we want to beat. We want to win.